Today, I'm going to speak a bit about how fawning affects your sex life and what you can do about it. So, let's first start with fawning. Let's understand what it means when I say that. Fawning is a reflexive, automatic, people pleasing strategy that our bodies go into for so many different reasons. I have a lot of videos and podcast episodes about this, which you can look below in the episode details here and click those links to get more info on. But I'll give you a quick review. Fawning is something that our animal bodies do to secure attachment to an individual and to reduce possible harm from a conflict. For instance, someone comes into a gas station I'm working at and they hold me up at gunpoint and they rob my cash register. I'm not going to fight that. I'm going to put my hands up and smile and say, take it, here, I'll give you more. Do you want more stuff from the back? I know where other money is. I'm going to start fawning and reflexively, automatically pleasing this individual by doing what they want. I'm going to break my boundary so I can survive a situation. Now, many of us grow up socially doing this because we learn from a very young age, give people what they need and we'll be rewarded. There's a lot of different reasons why we do this. It can be as simple as go hug your uncle that you never see because it's going to make your uncle feel bad. And you learn as a kid, people like me and I'm the good one when I do something I don't want to do to make someone feel better. You can also learn this from situations where you had assault or you had domestic violence and you learned by being really kind, by smiling, by making someone happy, it settled their system down a bit and prevented further harm or abuse. Now, when we go into the realm of sexual fawning, it's the same experience, but it involves our sexuality. It involves being sexual, meaning I use my body to please you in moments I actually don't want to because I'm trying to secure my connection and my attachment to you. And again, there are many reasons we do this. I'm going to highlight the two major ones. The first reason is sexual assault. When you are in an experience where sex is being forced upon you and you are in danger, your body will instinctively acquiesce the other person to sexually engage with you. You won't say no, you won't yell for help, you might even appear to be enjoying it. Sometimes you might even think you're enjoying it. That's how tricky sexual fawning is. The whole purpose of doing this is so the predator doesn't harm you. When you acquiesce sexually, they get their sexual need met, the situation ends, and then you're able to get away. If you fight back, it could end in danger or sometimes even death. So sexual fawning has very, very important roots as a survival strategy. Now, the second reason it occurs, and a reason I've seen so much, it is so prevalent in my private practice and in my own life and in people I've worked with, is sexual fawning with a long-term partner. Somebody who's safe, someone who loves you, someone who doesn't force or even in any way coerce you to have sex with them, but you feel a duty and an obligation to please them and make them feel loved in a way you're not enjoying over and over and over again. Now, this is different from just I want to please my partner and give them some satisfaction or pleasure and I'm not feeling turned on. That's very different because I want to. Sexual fawning is all about not even noticing if I want to. It's just an instantaneous yes. Or sometimes it can even be seductive. You feel a sense of urgency to get this person to be sexual with you because it secures some kind of bond with them. This is having sex with someone not out of a sexual desire or turn on, but out of a strategy to maintain the relationship. Over time, this is felt in the body as a sexual violation. It is felt as boundary violations, and it actually starts to create the results of sexual trauma, things that people who are abused experience, issues with your libido, panic around having sex, soreness in the genitals, and a sense of emptiness and dissociation and detachment around affection and intimacy. These start to occur because your body's saying, I don't actually want this. I'm going to start shutting down my arousal completely. It is because of this that I find it so important to say sexual fawning is not contingent on sexual abuse. Very important. Sexual fawning, as I've said, is a survival strategy. So, yes, if you're being sexually assaulted, your body will most likely acquiesce and go into fawning sexually, people pleasing sexually, so you can avoid further harm and escape the situation and the predator. But what about situations, like I said, where you're married to someone for 30 years who you adore, but maybe you're not turned on by? Maybe you developed your sexuality from a fawning response, so you never actually embodied or felt what it is you wanted or how you wanted to be touched or loved. Maybe you feel the pressure to perform sexually, so you force yourself to become aroused and try to appear like you're really enjoying it when you're not because your body's wanting more. These are some of the reasons we sexually fawn that are not attached to abuse. And it's important we explain that because a lot of people walk around with sexual trauma, sexual dysfunctions, and a lot of negative, painful, even overwhelming and panic inducing associations with having sex. And it comes from years of sexual fawning. In other words, years of having sex from a reflexive duty rather than an embodied sense of desire. So, what do we do about it? The first thing we have to do is learn how to define what sexual fawning is and what it isn't. Like I said, it is reflexively pleasing someone without first checking in with how you feel. It is having sex or being sexual when I don't want to and I'm actually disgusted or turned off by it while I'm doing it. It isn't wanting to serve or please my partner. It isn't sexually experimenting and realizing, oh, I didn't actually like that. These are differences, and there's more to go into, and I'll go into it later. Now, once you understand what sexual fawning is and what it isn't, we have to somatically experience it. I want you to start learning how to feel when your body is bracing and tense around a sexual experience because there's urgency and performance, or when it's soft and settled and there's a beautiful turn on emerging from you to connect with someone sexually. That is not a cognitive understanding, it is a felt sense, and your body won't lie once you start learning how to tell the difference. So, once you have cognitively identified what sexual fawning is and what it isn't, and then you have somatically experienced what it is and what it isn't, then you get to play the game of interrupting it. And this is really where the healing comes from. When you start engaging with somebody sexually or even relationally, and you start to feel the signals that you're moving into a sexual fawning response, you get to hit the pause button. There's many different ways to do this. Some ways are completely yours, they are private, and you're doing it yourself and you know it. Other ways, you're actually sharing it with somebody, especially a long term partner who you want to help you with moving through this sexual fawn response that you might have been doing with them for a long time, even decades. So, being able to tell your partner, hey, I do this thing, and I'm going to start pausing and shifting this and kind of having them help you along is a brilliant, beautiful way to start, let's say, expressing a new pattern of behavior around your sexual connections and expressions and your needs. Because with sexual fawning, you don't have sexual needs. Your history and even your present situations are all about reflecting the other person's needs back to them, not about expressing what you need as well. So, a big part of this work is about how do I even feel into my sexual needs and express them and teach somebody what I need, when for so long I've been hiding behind their needs sexually and not really coming out to be seen in that light. So, I've been talking and teaching and writing and practicing not fawning and not sexually fawning for the last 8 years. And after many of you have asked me for a very long time, I am finally releasing a webinar and a subsequent mini course that is specifically on how fawning affects your sex life and what you can begin to do. And I'm going to tell you all about it. The webinar takes place on Tuesday, January 14th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. This is a 90-minute webinar. It's live and it will be recorded. For those of you that can't come live, you can listen to the replay. I'm going to teach you the basics. I'm going to teach you the structure of the mini course, and I'll give you a practice to walk away with from the webinar itself, even if you don't join the course. But the course is something you really want to consider joining. The course is a mini course. It's a 3-week deep dive into learning how to identify, embody, and start interrupting your patterns of sexual fawning so you can have a new relationship to your sexuality, your sexual expression, and your partner sexually. The course begins on Thursday, January 23rd, and it goes for 3 weeks. We will meet every Thursday for 2 hours from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you cannot come live, don't worry, you will get the replay. In the live sessions, I will teach, I will do a demo with a participant, we'll do group practices, and we'll have time for a Q&A where you can ask specific questions about your situation and get specific answers. So I hope you join me and my team as we start unraveling this very rarely spoken about phenomenon of sexual fawning, so we can stop actually thinking we're enjoying something and move into a truly pleasurable experience that feels safe, that feels rooted, and feels embodied, so we can have a better connection to ourselves sexually and to others. All the information is in the link below, and I look forward to seeing you there. That's the end of today's episode. Now let's take a moment to notice where we feel the episode in our bodies. Close your eyes. Take a breath. And let whatever wants to come up, come up. And remember, those sensations hold the wisdom that we're looking for. If you want to go deeper, visit holisticlifenavigation.com. I have developed a 4-week self-paced course that takes 18 years of my personal and professional experience and puts it into one place where you can easily and quickly learn the foundations of recovering from stress and trauma. How does the food you eat affect your stress levels? How do the relationships in your life create stress or peace? How does the relationship you have with your body allow you to feel happier and more settled? I will cover all this and so much more in this 4-week self-paced course. And the best part, it's self-paced. You don't have to sign up at a certain date or finish it at a certain time. It's yours for life, and it's waiting there for you when you're ready to finish it. Throughout this course, I'll be teaching you philosophies and practices that combine my 3 favorite modalities: somatic experiencing, embodied parts work, and nutrition. For more information on this course, click on the link in my episode details.